Welcome to Casa Academy Chapter 2, Part 3, where we will cover real estate license law and qualifications for licensure.
Okay, let's dive into this, because obtaining and, actually keeping your Florida real estate license isn't just about casually reading a book and passing a quick test. No way. It's a very specific, sequential timeline filled with some serious bureaucratic hurdles that you absolutely need to clear. So in this explainer, we're going to map out that exact path for you so there are zero surprises along the way as you work toward launching your new career.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the first steps to licensure. Second, the course final exam. Third, the state licensing exam. Fourth, the broker license pathway. And finally, maintaining your active license. Let's get started. Section 1. First steps to licensure.
What's really critical to understand right off the bat is how these three distinct steps kind of need to run in parallel if you want to be efficient. Step 1 is the successful completion of the required 63-hour pre-licensing course, which means working your way through all 19 chapters and passing the quizzes. But hey, while you're focused on the coursework, Step 2 is to submit your initial license application and fee to the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, commonly known as the DBPR. And Step 3, submitting your fingerprints for a mandatory state background check. So the crucial takeaway here is, seriously, do not wait until you finish the course to submit that state application. Getting it in early is highly recommended to ensure that your official exam scheduling aligns perfectly with the exact moment you finish this course.
Section 2. The course final exam.
All right, I really want you to lock onto these three specific numbers because they are your immediate target. The end of course final exam has a strict time limit of exactly 3 hours. In that time, you will face a length of exactly 100 questions. And the golden number? You need a passing score of 70% or higher. Let those numbers stick in your memory right now. 3 hours, 100 questions, 70% to pass.
Now, I need you to pay very close attention to this next point, because the state rules regarding this exam are incredibly strict. You get one initial attempt at that end of course exam, just one. If you do not pass that first time, you are forced to wait a full 30 days before an alternate version of the exam even becomes available to you. And here's the harsh reality. If you fail that 30-day alternate exam, state rules dictate that you must retake the entire 63-hour course from scratch. Yes, the whole thing all over again. That's exactly why it is absolutely essential to focus on thoroughly understanding the material and prepare to pass on your very first try.
As we transition to the state exam, your verification code is 8988874. Section 3, the state licensing exam. Once you're finally eligible to sit for the Florida state licensing exam, you'll find it actually covers very similar content to the course exam you just conquered. However, take note of the new passing standard, 75%. The state demands a higher bar. You absolutely must score 75% or higher on this state exam to officially get your license and start working in real estate. But hold on, passing the state exam is a huge victory, for sure, but it doesn't mean you can just go out and start operating independently the very next day. State law strictly requires that you register your employment with the DBPR before you perform any real estate activities whatsoever. Basically, in Florida, sales associates simply cannot practice on their own. You have got to be registered under a licensed real estate broker or an owner-developer first.
Section 4. The broker license pathway.
And this brilliantly illustrates the distinct difference between the two paths. Right now, as a sales associate candidate, you're taking the required 63-hour pre-licensing course. But for a broker candidate, someone looking to level up, there's a separate licensing pathway that requires a heavier 72-hour pre-licensing course. Interestingly enough, though, the testing standards remain completely identical for both tracks. You still need a 70% to pass the end of course exam and a 75% to pass the state broker licensing exam.
Section 5. Maintaining your active license.
Listen up, because every single real estate license comes with a strict expiration window of 18 to 24 months. Your initial license is going to expire within 18 to 24 months after you pass the state exam, and the exact expiration date will be printed directly on your physical license. Let me be crystal clear here. It is entirely your responsibility as a professional to track this exact date. You must complete all required license renewal education and procedures before that date hits, or you will literally lose your active status.
Okay, let's do a rapid-fire recap of the primary milestones to really solidify this entire chronological sequence in your mind. First, complete the 63-hour course. Second, submit your DBPR app and fingerprints. Third, pass the course exam with a 70%. Fourth, pass the state exam with a 75%. Fifth, register your employment under a broker. And finally, meticulously track that 18 to 24-month renewal deadline.
You now know the exact steps to get your Florida real estate license, but do you have the dedication required to keep it active? Keep that long-term goal front and center as you tackle the rest of the course material. Stay focused, and we'll see you in the next explainer.